Hello everybody. Hey Leo, hey Gregor, and hey to the two mics. How's it going? Yeah, so my OBS is still kind of messed up since the last Windows update. I was trying to stream on Saturday morning and none of my webcams worked was the first problem, and then my mic didn't work either, so I'm still kind of on the temporary fix I did on Saturday morning settings for that. But yeah, it actually took me a while to find where the correct mic was to turn on. Michael Hassiter in the chat, he had to point out after I was talking for about 2 or 3 minutes that my mic wasn't working. I remembered to unmute the mic, but the mic that I unmuted, it wasn't the correct mic after the Windows update. I don't know what happened. It all went a little bit weird, but yeah, that's neither here nor there. Just before I went on there, like actually while the video was playing through, I was looking for my multimeter, and I actually have no idea where it is. My office is still kind of upside down since I like put in that desk. I still haven't got a chance to kind of tidy it up properly. I know I brought one multimeter to work, but I should have my other one, and I just don't know where it is. I'm sure it's somewhere, but where that somewhere is, who knows? Oh, I see some cables over there. That might be okay. Okay. Yeah, so let's jump into it a small bit. I hope everybody's doing well. I'm pretty tired today, but that's okay. Hey Gavin, how's it going? So desk plus me. Okay, so if you follow me on social medias, you'll know I was doing some more work on this project that we've been working on for the last few days. So a couple of things. The last Monday stream, I think we left it in a place where the buzzer module, this one here, was causing problems. It was like playing this really weird noise when there was no sound coming out through it, and it seemed to be caused by the display. That was, yeah, a problem. We tried some capacitors to smooth it out, and we weren't able to. Guten Abend, meine Freund. Sounds German to me. Yeah, and it did help, but it didn't reduce it. Don't use me as an excuse not to exercise. I use me as an excuse not to exercise enough for all of us. Yeah, so that was fine. Then I tried out, let's in a small bit. So another one of the problems is the Windows 10 update. Like, I had started using generic USB drivers for oh yes, that is a problem. No. I had started to use generic USB drivers for my webcams, and that was fine. But with the Windows update, it has somehow decided that it was going to reinstall the Logitech webcams driver software. So I'm just trying to figure out how to focus it. Here we go. We got it. Gruß aus Berlin. Gruß aus Meißen. Yeah, Windows boo. Yeah, I kind of am half. Oh, I was using my Mac for a long time. I have a laptop with a Mac, or sorry, I have a Mac laptop, a MacBook Pro. but when I started getting more into the video editing, this is a much more powerful computer. There's more storage, more everything. So I was just using this. So I kind of just do most of my development and streaming and stuff on this. So okay, so let's see here. I don't know if I fully need that. But anyways, oh yeah, I know why I needed this now. So yeah, I replaced that buzzer module with just a single buzzer module. So one of the, like, basically what's on this, but with no transistors or anything. And it did seem to be working okay, but just last night I was playing around with it some more, and it was pretty noisy. Kind of similar noises. Dogs are banging onto my door there. Let me just move a little bit that way. Yeah, but I think I did originally have a resistor in line with it, and I don't seem to have that now when I moved away from this breadboard to the see-through one. Yeah, the other thing I've added since I was talking to you last is Neopixels. I just have 2, but the idea would be to have, like, I don't know, 11 of them. I'll show you where now in a second. So this is the general idea. Let me get rid of my desk. So this is a real sight to behold. I probably need to put a mark here as well. So this is a template for, like, what's going to be on the picture frame. So the general idea is to get this project, which, if you're not familiar with it, is to display my commute time home. Yeah, it's to display my commute time home. So it uses Telegram. So on my phone, I share my location with a bot that will be running on the ESP32. When that gets my location, which would be a longitude and latitude value, it sends that to Google Maps and asks for the live traffic between that location and my house, and it will display on the screen, which is this screen here, what the live travel time is. And then on top of that, just for something for my daughter to look at, there is also a servo motor. So when I start that off, that will be like 100% of the journey, and then when I'm 50% of the way home, oops, I can't move any further back than that, the servo motor will be up at 50%. And then, so yeah, that's pretty much that. And then each one of these dots here is just going to be a Neopixel. It's actually not a Neopixel, it's where is it? Should be here. It's a PL9823. I don't have that camera showing up at the moment. PL9823. So they're just kind of like through-hole Neopixels. I need to get rid of this. I had a preview of the desk webcam, and I was just looking up at my screen, and I couldn't see it. It does not say "Daddy" anywhere. Yeah, I don't know. I was kind of playing around with that, like the ideas of names for this or whatever. This is probably just a template, anyways. I'll probably replace it with something a little bit less crappy looking. But I don't know. Daddy and internet kind of has a weird. Dogs are still just banging on the door there. Daddy and internet kind of has a weird vibe to it, so I just don't know what to do about that. Like the original idea was that I would make it like Daddy's coming home or something, but it's just, I don't know, it just doesn't sound right. Yeah, so this template is basically, the servo is going to go here, so I actually do need to mark it. I have some more like center lines. that I just have hidden at the moment. So I'll probably mark the hole for the servo. Yes, Gary, I absolutely have. Oh, I also noticed, thank you so much for the subscription, Gary. I didn't even realize that. I think the sound is not coming out through my speakers either, which is great. Let's try to turn that up maybe. Really appreciate that. Yeah, so each dot here is going to be a Neopixel, so it's just to give it an extra, like, it's just to give it an extra an extra like indication to where it is. It's just to make it a bit more fun. I have loads of those Neopixels left over from a different project, so yeah, it's just as each one lights up, just give it something kind of interesting, I guess. I don't know, doesn't really matter. I put the buzzer here and then the display will go here, so it's pretty simple. I don't know if you can hear my daughter, but she's not too happy at the moment. It's just one of these IKEA picture frames. I know Mike Swan in the chat is very familiar with these. Yeah, they're just she is not a happy camper. They're just like a €5 picture frame. They're deep as well, as you can see here. They're pretty thick, so the idea would be that this this display will be out the front of the picture frame, and like all the electronics will be hidden hidden in the back. This is one of the new ones, Mike, though, that has the plexiglass front of them. Like when I bought a few of these like a few years ago, and I was talking to Mike, I think it was on Twitter or somewhere, and he was saying, oh, they've got plexiglass. It's a pity about the plexiglass glass in them. I was like, mine don't have plexiglass. And he was like, no, the new ones do. And I was like, oh, crap. So I have a good few ones that actually have proper glass, and then got this one that has plexiglass, which probably has some uses, but yeah. Yeah, that's a good idea too. Gavin, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, Craig, the pub, midpoint. Yeah, I posted a few pictures and videos and stuff of this project, and I think everybody thought that this work/home thing was the clock from Harry Potter, which I've never seen. Is it the Weasley clock or something? Where it kind of I've somebody, when I talked about this project before, somebody mentioned that Weasley clock, and I looked it up, and basically it's like has like 4 different hands or whatever representing the different family members, and it points to like Ron is in the library or whatever. Yeah, so people keep thinking that that's what this is. Is that who was Gavin? Yeah, I couldn't remember who. People keep saying that this is what that's what this is, and I was like, well, no, it's a cool idea, but that's not what this is. I've obviously done a bad job of representing it, but anyways, we are where we are. Okay, so that is the story with this. Originally, I had planned to enter this into the microcontroller contest on Instructables, which I believe the closing date for is this Sunday night. Really, it's Monday for me. I don't think it's gonna happen. I just, like, I could get the project finished maybe by then, but written up as well, I really doubt it. I'll see how it goes, but yeah, I'll see how it goes, but like with the new job as well up in Dublin, I need to go to bed earlier, and I get home later, and I'm more tired all the time, so like it just, you know, previously maybe I could have, you know, pulled a couple of, not all-nighters, but like stayed up till 1 or 2 o'clock, and it might have been okay, but I can't get away with that now, so but yeah, it's kind of so far away that it's like I'm not even that bothered by it. Like if it was, you know, if I was just gonna be like that close, like maybe, but I'm that far away that it's kind of like, yeah, whatever. The other thing as well is the prize. I'm not super interested in the prize either. Like, not that I'd be, you know, winning it or anything, but like it's a gift voucher for Amazon.com, which is, you know, I'd be able to spend somehow or some way, but yeah, it's fine. Yeah, so that's the story with that. So there's a couple of things that I wanted to look at. Oh, and yeah, Gavin, actually, it would be suitable to do this, the Harry Potter clock, the Weasley clock. The issue that you would have with it. So the two things that I would think would be hard about that is, number one, getting where is my mouse? It's over there. Number one would be getting like multiple hands to represent the different people. That would be, I think, the most challenging part of it, because the code would actually be okay, like really similar to what we're already doing here. You don't even need the going to Google Maps part of it, like as in if you just receive the, like if you receive, so at the moment, like if I receive a location, I'm just passing that straight through. I just consider that whoever, but like with Telegram, you could check who is it, like as in if you check for my chat ID in Telegram, you'd know that it was my location that was being sent. So, you know, you could just use that to say like, oh, Brian is roughly near the library or whatever based on his coordinates. Or, yeah, like it doesn't need to be that accurate either, right? It's just to show it as something. The one issue I would see with it though is that like I have to manually share my location for this to work. So like it's fine in my use case because it's like when I'm leaving work, I can just tell Telegram, share my location for the next hour or whatever, and that's fine. But like it doesn't work all the time, and if you know, if you actually want it to work properly, you would probably need a better solution for location, like maybe something like Tasker or something installed on their phones that like every like 10 minutes it updates. You know, it doesn't need to be that live location really. That's that anyways. So a couple of things that I wanted to do today. So let's plug this in. So let's go to desk plus me. So I don't hear any squealing, which is good. I hear a tiny bit of squealing. That's fine. We'll survive with the squealing. Let me just turn on my fake GPS in case I share my location at some stage. So this is in the mode here where it's like it's just waiting for me to send my address. Hey Subtix, how's it going? Yeah, so it's just waiting for me to send my address. I've turned on my fake GPS now. Where are we? I'm using Dublin on conference as my and I have a load of notifications that I need to go reading. So let me just make sure I have no pictures that I don't want shared, and let me just make sure that it's actually using my fake location, and I can just show you through the whole process. I'm pretty tired, Subtix. Yeah, I probably would just be like nearly going to bed if I wasn't streaming, but I picked a really crap location. It's like in the middle of nowhere. That's fine. Yeah, so if we look at my phone here, so I'm just pressing this share button, going to location, and then I can share my live location, which I have set using a fake GPS app, and then it says like choose how long you want to share your location for. So I'll just say 15 minutes. Then you click share, and there's a picture of me. So me share meant Yeah, you are in Germany though, right? So you're an hour ahead of me. So I hope to maybe be in bed in an hour's time too. So meteor. Did I spell meteor wrong? Maybe. So yeah, you can't really see the neopixels, but yeah, that's zero index neopixel, and that's one index neopixel. So if I just change my GPS location to move us closer here, I can hear that buzzer being crap. So I've changed the GPS location, so I'm just waiting for Telegram to update now. So I'm getting a lot of WhatsApp messages for some reason. Updated just now, so it should update. There we go. So like I moved this a little bit closer. The second one has lit up now. Presumably more would be lit up as well, just from the position of the servo. It's probably at position 2 or 3. I'm not actually even 100% sure. So yeah. So like functionally it works okay. There's a couple of things that need to be tidied up. Like one, I don't have a clock on it at the moment. Not overly worried about that. Like I can get that working at some stage. It's just like most of the time it won't be doing anything, so I may as well make it look like a clock, right? Or yeah, display a clock up here. I really want to fix that buzzer. Like I can't. I'm one of those people that like as soon as a charger starts making weird noises, it's gone. I'm done with it. Like I can't have any noise like that. Um, yeah. Well, that is. Yeah. Actually, that's a good point. Like that's showing 32 minutes now, so that's like I will be home in 32 minutes. But yeah, if I updated it to be like this is current time plus 32 minutes, that would be pretty interesting. Like Brian will be home at this time or whatever. Yeah, so the couple of things I need to fix, I think it's really just the buzzer and the clock. No, the other thing that I really need to fix actually is I needed to stop tracking at some stage. Like, I've put in a little bit of code for that, but I don't know exactly what I want to do with it either. My home meter. So the Neopixel stuff is fine. There's nothing really to it. It's just update Neopixels. So traveled is like the amount of segments that it's true. So like if you pass in 3, it'll light up 0, 1, 2, and 3. So that's fine. And then yeah, I'm just kind of thinking about the actual ETA. Did that change? I don't know. Just thinking about the actual ETA, it might confuse it if there's like time and an ETA there. I'm not sure. Doesn't really matter anyways. So yeah, I'm just turning off the Neopixels as well. The other thing I fixed actually, not on stream, was let me get rid of my desk. The other thing I fixed not on stream was this. I just copied some code from for driving the buzzer from like the web or whatever, and channel was set to 0, and it wasn't working at the same time as the servo. Both of them worked individually in their individual like example sketches fine, but then when I tried to combine them, they weren't working. And it was just after a bit of digging around I realized that under the hood the servo library was using the same stuff. Where is it? LED C attach pin blah 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 blah, and by default, the first one you passed in was using channel 0. So once I changed this to be channel 1, it was working okay. So I guess there's a timer associated with PWM or a frequency. So it's 2000 for the buzzer, but like the LED or the servos need like a frequency of like 50 hertz or something. So I think it was just messing with the servo when I was using that. So that was fine. So like, yeah, I just want to fix this buzzer is the first thing on my list. So I'm gonna try using the I didn't notice a noise before when I had the resistor in line. So how this buzzer is connected is it's connected. It seems very dark, doesn't it? I have lots of light on. Turn it up a bit, but so the ground of the buzzer is connected to ground, and positive is connected directly to a pin at the moment. But yeah, I don't know if that's working super great. Do I have a shorter cable? Not a shorter, long enough cable. Okay, so a bit of silence. I have a couple of resistors on my desk here, and I can't remember which one I was using. It was like it was a pretty small one. It was like 220 or something. So I'm just gonna check that out. This one is 100 ohms. Is that right? Or is me touching it messing with it? I'll plug it into the breadboard. Get a better. This probably help if I showed you something. That's how these streams work, isn't it? And I show you some stuff. Alright, so that's a 100 ohm. Still don't know what was up with the last buzzer. It just sounded awful. Like it sounded like it was screaming at me. I can quickly hook it up actually to show you what it was like, but it was bad. Is this one now? Oh, it just flicked because every time it updates the time it flicks. 67. I don't know. Yeah, let me hook up this other one now for 2 seconds because it only takes. It can be hooked up really quickly because it uses the same connections as the other one, other than 3.3 volt line. That's a 5 volt one. So let me connect to here. Did you hear that? Yeah. I can't live with that. So if we put a cap on the voltage rail, it was better, but it was still bad. So I decided to try out just a regular buzzer, and it worked better. So that was fine, but now we have more problems. So let's try. Okay. Alright, I don't seem to hear anything now, although when I When I put my finger in front of it, I can hear something. But let's just reset it and see. So yeah, by default it moves back to home until it starts, like until it receives its first one, and then it'll go to the location. That's okay. Like I can't hear it enough at the moment for it to be a problem, so I'm happy enough with that. It is a tiny bit quiet. Like, would you hear that in my kitchen? Maybe not. I don't know. Maybe it's worth trying this buzzer one more time, but I don't know if I had this value of a resistor in it before. It's just saying give up on me, and I'm like, no, I'll never give up. Oh, it's even worse. Yeah. I'm done with you, buzzer. I will live with that being a small bit quiet. I can revisit again some other time. Like I could try, well, I could try put a transistor in it, but then I don't know how it's going to be any different than this if I put a transistor in it. We could do that. Transistor is a switch, so have the signal line control the connection to ground. I think this is a NPM transistor. I can't remember what it is. It's a 2N3904. I had to add TTS. What's TTS? Let's see. So transistor as a switch. I was looking at this earlier. Yeah, screen share. So, a 1 kilo ohm resistor. Let me plug this out. Text to speech. Oh, right. Yeah, that's a bit beyond me. Okay, so that's my signal line. Where's my NPM transistor? Alright, so collector base emitter. So flat end. Oh yeah, you can't see anything I'm showing at the moment. Logitech desk. So that's my flat end facing E there. So the pin over on the left is the collector, and the middle one is base, and emitter is the last one. So right, so how am I hooking this up now? So I'm gonna put positive. So the buzzer has to kind of be the LED in that example, right? So I need to get my positive voltage. I guess I could put it back up there. It's not big enough to bridge that gap. I suppose I probably want a resistor though. I shall use that. Where's the resistor I had a minute ago? Just playing around with it too much. It's gonna crush it. Hold on a second. I really should have the bigger screen out. Hey, Realm is, yeah, all NPN transistors have the same pin out, right, of that description. I'm pretty sure it is, anyways. Let's get you up here. And hello, Duck Off. How's it going? I didn't see you come in there. Okay, so got our signal there. Got our resistor. Oh, sorry, that's not signal. That's 3.3 volts. Let me get you over here. 3.3 volts. Then we got our resistor. Let's zoom this in a bit. No, I don't think so, Subtext, because when I plug out this display, it works fine. So I think it's noisy power supply or something that's happening to it. But I am 100% sure. Okay. One thing I find really hard about these buzzers is seeing where they're plugged in, or what row they're plugged into. Okay, so that gets us that. Then collector base emitter. So there's our collector. I need a 1K resistor. 1 second. Here's a 1.5K resistor. I'm sure that's fine. It's a 29304. 29304. Pin out. So it's the same. Collector, base, emitter. Or is it? Fat side, yeah. I don't know. According to this, it's the other way around. Hey, PsyQ. I don't think I've been properly talking to you since the mailbag. Thanks a lot for all that stuff. I will make great use of it someday. So did you just save me some headaches? Greg, I think you might have. So screen share plus me. Yeah, EBC. I think you're right. Good job. Oh, task plus me. Oh, I never turned myself back on. Whoops. I owe you one buzzer module, I guess. I don't know what would have broke there, but couldn't have been good anyways. Right. I still think you had to just add a resistor divider in your last buzzer PCB. You just also amplified the noise. Well, I still have my last PCB one here. If you have a suggestion for what to do with it, I'm all ears. Let's plug this in and hope nothing goes pop. Stuff happened, yes. No noise from my buzzer module. it's not hooked up properly either. That probably would help. Yeah, just disconnect from here. That's one nice thing about the transparent breadboards, I guess. You can kind of see where things are plugged in a little bit better. Well, you can't on video, they're awful on video, but shut up, multimeter. Still don't hear any buzzing, so that's good. Okay, so let's share my location. Do we have any? Yeah. Heard no beeping though. So I did something wrong there. Yep, no beeping. Anyone know what I did wrong there? Probably would help if I plugged in the signal cable. No, it's not the signal, it's power. That would help a lot, I'd imagine. Still no buzzing, which is good. So we're just waiting for Telegram to update that thing. It updated. I heard a beep, but it was crazy not loud. Why don't we? Is this gonna blow my buzzer module? It would connect it straight to ground when it turns it on, but it's gonna like be okay, right? Oh, I don't care. See what happens. I could short my thing. Hey Chris, how's it going? We're blowing buzzer modules here. What should I have a resistor here between my? So I guess that's. I was gonna draw out, but I literally have no space to draw anything. Let's get some paint.net going. Hey, thanks for the follow. Ah, it's a pity. Just a Bitcoin 100,000 error, maybe. Oh, my thing was all over the place. Let me just. Yeah, that could be it, alright. But I'm not 100% sure. So what I have on, I'm just gonna freehand this because what other way would I do it? So I have my 3 volts coming in. I had a resistor there. Then I had my buzzer module. This is the worst drawing ever, but yeah, you get the picture. And then it went to my transistor, which went to ground. Then I had my, and that was going to signal. Do I need the resistor here? And if I do, what trim a resistor to the current through the transistor is reduced. Okay, so in this buzzer module, so a resistor on the input, right? There is already a resistor on the input. So are you saying I should just add another one? The resistor on the input is an SMD one. It says 102. Does anybody do anything with SMD components? I don't know what that says. Which is a 1K resistor by the looks of things. Yep. 1K. SIQ has sent me a picture. It's gonna be, let me Google that for you. Piezo buzzer. Okay, so what's the resistance of the speaker? Okay, so this looks fine. It just needs a diode. I can do a diode. 1 second. What kind of diode? A Schottky diode? I can do that. So Schottky diode going from -2 positive. I'll need to move that buzzer up one for me to be able to fit this in. Okay. Actually, I can use the positive. I can use 5 volts positive actually for this. So I can just hook into the same line as the Neopixels are using. Okay. Let's see how it goes. Oh yes, my diode is going like this on my schematic. What's the symbol for a diode? And I've removed this resistor. Right, so let me just... It beeped, but again, super quietly. That's weird. I wonder... Oh yes, that would make more sense. That's pretty much the same though, right? That is now what I have, but I don't have that transistor. I have a 4403 one. It's not a 3904. The pin out of the transistor must be right because it does work. It's just really quiet. This schematic is nowhere near as nice as this schematic. Look, this is they work backwards. Okay, so let's see what we have here. We had 29304 pinout. This is normally the one I use. So collector, base, emitter. So if the flat side is looking at me, the collector is the one on the right, which I do not have it working that way now. So let's try flick them around. Okay. Has Dave Darko earned his keep? Oh, I should have read the text to the picture. No diode in there. What is the text to the picture? Okay, let's just get this share happening. Oh, I should have read the text. No diode. So do you want me to remove the diode? Or is that the speaker? If the speaker and diode is acting as a voltage. Oh yes. Guys, I don't know what we done, but that was perfect. Right, Dave, you were right. and whoever said it before Dave, and Dave is just stealing their credit. Thank you. That's working perfectly, right? I hear no buzzing noise whatsoever. I don't see any issue with the diode. I have millions of diodes. It's working great. I guess I have to justify this when I'm telling people how to make it, though. Let's find out what happens if I remove the diode. I don't hear any buzzing or anything. If you had the diode... Oh yes, when you hit the piezo. That's a good point. So let's put it back in, because who knows what's gonna happen. We could hit piezos. Did I put it in the right way? I did. I don't know. It's hard to tell. It works fine when you plug out the screen. So I guess it is bad. It could be just a bad module too, in terms of like you could get the same one and it would work fine. This is also 30 cents delivered, so you kind of get what you pay for, maybe. So I don't know. We got it working anyway. So thank you to everybody. This was a real team effort to get a buzzer working. Shows the level of skill I am, anyways. Okay, so that solves that problem. I guess now another problem is, so Greg, actually you mentioned earlier, and I completely forgot to talk to you about it. 2 streams for a buzzer. How many hours and how many like years of experience between all of us did it take to get a buzzer working? Yeah, you mentioned earlier about it being a Microsoft loading bar. That actually did cross my mind. And what the servo works on, I'm pointing to something and I don't have the camera on. What the servo works on is distance. Because like distance always goes down when I'm coming home. Like maybe it goes down super slowly, but it shouldn't go back up. So I'm hoping it doesn't do a Microsoft loading bar where it moves all around the place. Yeah, but the servo works on distance rather than time. Yeah, don't know. Decoupling cap on the display. Yeah, I'm not too sure. It's working okay now. I'm happy enough with it. Like I guess this is cheaper than buying that pack, although that pack is like $1 for 10 of them or something. But yeah, should be fine. Another thing actually I didn't realize would be a problem for me, but it actually is my perf boards. I buy small perf boards because I normally use a Wemos and there's enough space for like the board and the project. But this is like the ESP32 board on my perf board, and like I don't really have a lot of room for anything else. It is a pretty small project in terms of what's going on. Like say for example the Neopixels aren't going to be on perf board. They're going to be attached to the frame. So is this. So like I just need to bring back wires for them, and actually that's also going to be attached to the frame. If you aren't, oh yeah, that's a good point. I'll just write on it actually, because it's not that bad, but I just wouldn't use it in an actual project. But it would be okay for just like testing out stuff. Bad question mark. Yeah. It'd do if you were in a pinch. Okay, cool. I haven't fully decided exactly what the LEDs are for. I was just going to use them as an extra indicator as well as the servo, just to kind of give a visual. So like there would be a Neopixel here and it would be lit up. Then when the servo moves to the next position, it would also light that one up. You could do stuff like that as well in terms of marking it against the traffic. So like you get the traffic time back. You get the normal travel time back plus the travel time in traffic, so you do have a comparison between the two. So you could say if it's like a good bit worse, you could just light them up red. Yeah, the other thing as well is you could, like, to add some extra sort of, like, I don't know, flair to it, you know, when the buzzer starts, or you know, when it starts, you could do whatever. So yeah, red if stuck in the pub. Yeah, so it's just, again, like, it's an easy way to make the project be more flexible and just have more sort of like inputs or outputs, sorry. And as I said, like, I had a load of these Neopixels left over anyways. So actually, one thing about the Neopixel that might be worth pointing out, if we can get you zoomed in there. Let me focus you up. You can see there is a cap there, and that is a 220 picofarad capacitor, and I have no idea why this works, but this, so I saw it on Andreas Spiess's channel when he was talking about these LEDs. Most definitely still use the ice cream stick. That's the other thing, like, really I should be using a 3D printed thing, but I don't know if I'll get to it. But anyways, yeah, so you either need to level shift to these, or you can use the 220 picofarad capacitor between input and ground of the first LED, and then the rest of them just work. I have no idea why it works, but they do not work without it. So, like, if I can disconnect that here and reset this, I'm hoping it doesn't work now because I said it's not gonna work. I'm out of share juice, so let's share again. Yeah, so do you see the first one there is purple, the second one is red, when the only one that should be lit up at the moment is the first one, and it should be green. So yeah, it's kind of a nice cheap way of, without using a level shifter, to get Neopixels working with a 3.3 volts board. No, I just need to make sure I plug it in right. No. Let's just reset that and see, does it work now? Yeah, do you want to paint schematic? It's literally just let me just bring up what are they called again? PL9283. No problem. Let's show you. Okay. Did I type that in right? PL9823 LED. Okay. I'm pretty sure they're PL9823's commute checker. To this date, I think this is my most detailed instructables. It took ages to write up, and it's pretty similar to this project in terms of like the cutting out and stuff I need to do. So that's why I know I'm so far away from making that project. PL9823, was I typing it in wrong? I don't know. So yeah, there is a 220 picofarad capacitor between D in and ground of the first LED. PL9823. I thought it was PL9823. I don't know if any of these work anymore. PL9823. Ah, okay, cool. Hey, Sion, how's it going? I was looking at your video for the solder your reflow oven. Man, I'm so jealous of your 3D printer. Like, I would have had to take out like a blowtorch to get that support material out. It just pops straight off. Oh man, I'm so jealous. Yeah, I'm after submitting a request in work for a 3D printer. Whether it goes through or not, I don't know, but we'll see. I should be back now. It didn't seem like it was an internet thing, strangely enough. It seemed like OBS crashed. Or maybe it was an internet thing. I don't know. Oh, seems to be back up. Let's not worry about it. Okay, so let's talk about how we're going to okay, did we cover that? There is a small capacitor, 220 picofarad. Oh, get out of the way, desk. Between D in and ground, and that makes it magically work. And I even asked Andreas Spies on his like channel, why does this work? And he was like, it filters out the noise. And I was like, okay. I don't know how that makes 3.3 volt signal work on a 5 volt Neopixel, but okay. No, you could tell by his voice how happy he was with that with that stupid thing. I was so jealous. I'm mad at you how jealous I am. It was so good. Oh, I really want one. But I did, yeah, I've asked work to buy one. We'll see how that goes. Yeah, so that's just a nice little trick, because those capacitors are cheaper than level shifters. Not that they're expensive, but also it's really nice and small. Like a level shifter it's not big or anything. Do I have one here? It's not big or anything. Like, that's a level shifter, but you know, saves you a bit of space. Like one little cap. It's better than a whole level shifter. It saves you a bit of wiring too, because the level shifter requires you to plug in 3.3 volts and stuff. Yeah. Yeah. I was kind of looking at that. I was like, this thing is heat resistant. I was like, he knows what he's doing. Anyways, yeah, that was some expensive rubber though. Yeah, I think that could be it. All right, and like the way Neopixels seem to work as well is that like the first one outputs the signal to the next one, and yeah, the first one outputs to the next one. So once the first one is working okay, you get the next one working okay too. So yeah, it's not going from VDD to ground. It's going from D in to ground. So the outer pin to the ground pin. So this guy to this guy. Not VDD. Yeah, so, okay. We better do something else here. You can ask Andreas, because I don't know. Like, I even tried to get an answer, and he was just like, oh, it reduces the noise. And I'm like, cool. I'll even find the YouTube comment. Not right now, though. Okay, so at some stage, I need to decide that I'm finished with this particular journey. And there's two other things I need as well. Like, if I haven't received a message in like 5 minutes, I should probably think that it's over now. I'm not getting any more details, right? Like, it'd be unusual that I'd have a 5-minute black spot on the way home. Maybe it could be even 10 minutes, I'm not sure, but like, yeah. I'm not using it as a level shifter, I'm using it instead of a level shifter. Like, those Neopixels need either a level shifter or this capacitor trick. Yeah, so like, it's not shifting the level, but it's making it work, so I don't know. Excuse me. It's just a dark magic trick that I've picked up over the years, watching stupid amounts of YouTube. Capacity is 220 picofarad. Go to sleep, phone. Okay, so yeah. Another thing actually I added since the last time was I'm detaching the servo and detaching the PWM pin when I'm not using it. I just thought that might help, like, reduce on noise, and definitely with the servo pin, or servos can tend to make noise if they're not being used, and like, you know, speed isn't a big issue for me with this, so yeah, just turning it off so it's not making any noise. Where am I? Yeah, so here. So if first location received, so that's my indication that I'm starting this journey. So that sets my current distance to be the 100% one. It tells it to start like updating the like servo motor and blah 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 blah. It's also actually making it generate 2 tones, but that actually works okay, so I'm okay with that, because this generates a tone, and then I think updating the servo also generates the tone. That is pretty stupid, but okay. Yeah. That's fine. But yeah, I need something to say that the journey is finished, but I'm not 100% sure what that is at the moment. Like, so I'm saying if the distance is less than 5, so that's like if I'm 5 kilometers from my house, just finish that. That's not too bad, maybe. So first location set to be true. I could check is first location received false, and that would turn off all these things. So yeah, like, I guess it should be back to displaying like whatever, you know, it should maybe even say journey finished now or whatever on the display. I guess, why not? Telegram message seems like a stupid name for that, but let's find all and replace that with screen message. Replace all, because it shouldn't be just Telegram. What about if you haven't got closer on successive samples and you're less than 5 kilometers? I could be stuck in traffic for some amount of time, so I don't know. I do not know. Right, Dev. I'll talk to you again. Yeah, I guess distance being less than 5 is okay. And I should probably kick off a timer that basically says, like, if I haven't, and it probably wouldn't even be in here. Like, I'd probably do it in the loop, right? That when, yeah, I guess it would just be a thing that was like inactivity timer, and anytime I got a new location, the activity timer would be bumped out further and further, so it would probably, you know, the hope would be that it'd nearly never be called. That's probably okay. Yeah, distance value is less than 5, so new data has already been set to true, and I need to update. Where am I updating? Screen message. Yeah. So let's change. Excuse me. Screen message. Screen message is equal to let's generate an extra tone. I could even do this. Not an awful idea, right? If I searched for the presence of my, like, if I pinged my phone's IP address and it responded to me, then I'd know I was home. Or maybe if it looked for the Bluetooth of my car, would be another possibility. I don't know. This will do for the moment. If I'm less than 5 kilometers away, show up nearly home, and it's finished. Yeah, I don't know, because it's going to receive another message off me to be like, oh yeah, here's your location. I probably nearly even need like a cooldown on this, because like the next time like if I get into this finished state, the next time I want to like possibly use this again is at least a few hours from then, like at least probably the next day even. So I think like putting in a cooldown of like 20 minutes or something would probably work okay. That might be easier to do when I have the clock in place. Yeah, when my phone is connected to the Wi-Fi network, it would probably be the best. I haven't actually done that before though. Like I don't know if I can just ping it and see does it respond. Let me yeah, I'm not gonna do that now at 10 to 11. Nearly home, that'll do for the minute. Okay, so I'd nearly be happy enough to leave it here if I just have a list of stuff that I want to do from now. MAC address scanner to detect when people are home. Do you use an ESP3266 for that, Relmez? Because that could work. Like, I have my MAC address, so that could definitely work. ESP3266 MAC address scanner. Excuse me. MAC address scan on Wi-Fi network. No solution so far. I think this is using not ESP8266. Or sorry, not oh, it is using the Arduino ID. Station mode channel. Promiscuous. Enable. What is all this promiscuous enable? I never even heard of that. Let's take a look at that again. It's not a one-liner for sure. Oh, I wasn't even showing you my screen. No, there it is. Capacitive codes. Yeah, so this is this seems to be a project for looking up MAC addresses. But yeah, but my phone won't be outputting any SSID. So I don't think that'll work. Actually, one thing that I do have is just block my badge, but I don't know if any are around long enough for this project. It's a Bluetooth that's a Bluetooth low energy tracker device, and I had a prototype of a project that I actually ended up making a video of, where like I could use that to see how close that thing was. Might work. Anyways, I don't think I'm gonna solve that today. No, yeah, unfortunately not. That's the next thing. Maybe just have an ESP in the car that sends a message to the other one, hey, I'm home. The other thing is you could have Tasker or something that when it detects that it's on the Wi-Fi network, pings the ESP to say, hey, yeah, I'm home now. That would probably be the simplest thing. That might be the way to go too. I think actually I'm gonna leave it at that. Yeah, as mentioned, I'm pretty tired, and I think anything I try to do from here, I'm just gonna have to fix back. Yeah, but I think that one would probably work okay, where I just have Tasker when it connects to that Wi-Fi network. Just make a request to the ESP8266 to say, yep, I'm home. I don't actually have. I could even send it a Telegram message. I think Tasker has Telegram integration. Yeah, that could work. Okay, guys, thanks a lot for joining. Really appreciate it. I am going to release a video this week, the Raspberry Pi one. Not terribly exciting, if I'm completely honest. It's just about setting up a headless server on your Raspberry Pi. Just want to use it as a base video for a couple of other projects that I want to do. I made a Spotify Connect speaker with a Raspberry Pi, and it just, it relies on having the headless server set up first. And I just thought that would be a nicer way of doing it. Like if I have this setup video to share all the time, that would be the way to go, because of a couple of other projects that I think would work with it too. So yeah. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. Around this time tomorrow you can catch Unexpected Maker streaming, so make sure you do that if you're not already following him on YouTube. Do that now. And yeah. The other thing is I've started to use Instagram, so if you are on Instagram, you can follow me, and I think my name on it's Brian Locke, like the YouTube video, this thing here. And I'm still using Twitter a good bit too, so you can follow me at Witness Me Now, and yeah, that's it. Okay, thanks a lot, guys. I will talk to you next time. Bye bye.